Hello, folks, and welcome back to Mindustry. In our last episode, we went through and we took care of our biomass synthesis facility. There we go. I said it mostly right. Taking a look here, just kind of, jumping around here. We set up some of these guys as defensive measures out here. We had a whole other block of stuff, and our lancers are what really saved the day for us in this area. We also had some waves here to kind of cool any fires that may have happened. We had good power production. No, that's not looking so great right now. And then we had a ton of resources flying down this way to do things with. So we did, if we take a look here in our research, unlock a whole bunch of stuff. Mainly, we got the additive reconstructor, which when we click on that and get the info on here, it upgrades input units to their second tier. So as we've seen, the bad guys have kind of gotten exponentially better, and it looks like we're going to be able to upgrade some of our people to better ones. So a Nova goes to a Pulsar, a Dagger goes to a Mace, Crawler to a Atrax, Flare to a Horizon, a Mono to Poly, and a Rizzo to a Minky. If I'm pronouncing any of those wrong, I apologize. But we have those there. We've unlocked everything we can unlock for right now. So let's go in and just take a look and see if we were to do something, what it might look like. So what I'm thinking of doing here is building a little branch with some silicon coming out this way, and we have some graphite already coming in, and just making some place where we have units to go. One of the things that I haven't seen is the ability to control them. We should be able to use the command block here, and I don't know where it's at. We have containers, which is new as well. We have switches and all this stuff. We can use a logic kind of gate or message to control our units, I think. But I don't know where some of the other things are. So I've been looking for the command center. I thought that was something that we unlocked at one point, but I don't know where that's at. And the game kind of recently, depending on when you're watching this, did come out with version 7. I started this before version 7 and have been playing it since version 7. So there's some newness there with that. And I don't know if we have the same kind of things that we used to have here as far as units go. But what I do want to do is I want to make a little ground factory, I think, like right over here. And from that, if I'm remembering this correctly, we can go in and have, you see how there's like these little belts here? Maybe I'll unpause this and fly down there real fast and build it. It'll make a little bit more sense as we're going through here. But as we build this and get our units in there, we have the ability to do the Dagger, the Crawler, or the Nova. And looking at our upgrade path here on this side, a Nova can be upgraded to the Pulsar, and the Crawler can be upgraded to the Atrax, which fires debilitating orbs of slag at ground targets. And it can step over more terrain, which is kind of nice. And the Pulsar is the electric version of all that stuff. The Mace, we have something else, but we need to do the another thing to be able to get to that. We have two new ships. We have the Minky and the Redus. It fires homing torpedoes. That's kind of cool. This one fires standard shells and bullets at enemy ground targets. And then this one it rebuilds destroyed structures and assists other units in construction. So that's kind of cool. We have a whole bunch of stuff we can do there. But you can see there's this kind of little belt area, and if we wanted to, we can actually add a belt to kind of control where they go. So it's going to slide them forward. And then we can go into our additive reconstructor, and it's going to build on the next version of what we want. But for now, we're going to try to upgrade a Nova, and we'll see how that goes. The Nova requires, what does that require? So I go to Nova and that. I don't know what it actually requires. So if I go to ground factory and hit the question, here we go. All right, so Nova has it requires 3 things. Wow, so we have titanium that it needs lead, and then it also needs silicon. So that's not too big a deal. I think we should be able to get all of that without much of a problem. So let's go in and just set this bad boy up so we can get the base level of stuff that we need. So the first thing we're going to do is build a little jump here for this coal line that we have heading up. And we'll build that little jump, and I guess we're going to need to do the same thing over here with our metaglass. And the only reason for this is when I put a router in here to split off some of this production, I don't want it going into one of those other belts that's next to it. So we're going to just have it ride over there. Then we should be able to have a clear line here where that just comes straight on down. I'm not exactly sure where that's going to have to wind up. So we'll just let that be there. And then we're going to throw a router here because we need lead for that Nova. So we're going to do the same thing. Bring that on down over here and drop that one in. And then the other thing that we're going to need is titanium, which we are slowly producing. We have a good amount of slag and stuff going in through this. It's just not producing as much as what we need. So we could add on more if we want it. We're not producing a crazy amount of power right now, and all of our power currently is coming from this setup. So we may need to kind of just help increase our production on this just a tad. So we have a little bit of additional power, because what I feel like we're going to have happen here is we're going to need more of these. But taking a look at our sorters, we can allow things to go through, and an overflow gate. Somebody made a mention of this. It outputs an item to the left and the right if the front path is blocked. That's fine. An underflow gate is opposite of an overflow gate, where it will output those things. But we can do the sorter. And what the sorter does is it outputs an item that matches the selection. It passes forward. Otherwise, it output it towards the right or the left. So what I could do here is I can put on this guy here. Let's say we put that right there. We say, hey, we really want titanium coming out of this. Then I can go in and have titanium be the thing that's outputted from this and has it go in. So you can see it kind of is going to fly through there. It's going on a slower belt there for right now, which is fine. But we're outputting, and only titanium is flowing into this. So that's kind of a neat little thing you can do that I really haven't played much with, but I'm happy that we've had a chance here to catch our breath a little bit and to organize some of this stuff. Now, we have our items going in. The problem is we don't have power right now, so we're going to have to bring power. I guess we'll bring it down from over here. Use our large power node and just kind of plunk this on down to where we need it to be. And we're going to need another one here for our secondary one. We can see that it is building and it's doing its thing. We'll see what it all wants to do here. Its build progress is going to take a little while, it looks like. That may be because we and we have a max of 8 guys that we can build on here. Okay, we do have enough resources, so it just takes a little while to build these Novas, which is fine. And one of the problems with this setup is that once this belt gets filled, we can't output any more here. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to throw a router, let's say back here, so that we're still collecting some titanium for the rest of our line. So half of it's going to go towards production of a unit, and the other half's going to go here. Now if we take a look here, we have this secondary thing. We don't even get a choice of what we're doing there, but with the additive reconstructor, let me go here and take a look here. And we can see it upgrades, and it wants silicon and it wants graphite. So those are 2 things that we do have options for. I'm going to take this router here, and we'll feed that down to you. Does that work? Are you going to let me feed that way? Okay, you do. And then graphite, we can also put a router over here, and we'll feed that. Nope, going the wrong way. We'll feed that over here. And then down. Sorry, I have my hand on the mouse the wrong way there. But that should go in. That's fun. But we should be able to go in and load that up and have that set for what we want. This world is kind of fun in the fact that there's a lot of interesting things we can do. But unfortunately, a lot of it's really spread out in odd places. So let's see if we can help ourselves out here. I don't know what a cultivator does either. Cultivates tiny concentrations of atmospheric spores into spore pods. So it uses power, costs some stuff to build, and what do we get out of this? We get a spore pod. And then there's optional enhancements. It produces biomass efficient. Okay. I don't know what that does yet. We'll figure it out later. And then we also have this cool laser drill thing. The laser drill is super fast. If you take a look as far as its ability to produce stuff, like over here, it's producing 1.1 per second. If I go back to our regular drill, it's half the speed. Granted, the laser drill is bigger and uses more power, but we're producing a heck of a lot more stuff. Even on ones that doesn't fully cover everything, like this one's still covering the only 3. It's 0.48, whereas I put it on here, it's 0.36. So it's definitely more efficient and better for what we're eventually going to need to do here, I think. So I'm going to bring a line up here, and they're not producing anything yet because these need to be powered, I believe. But I do want to make sure that we have some additional resources going our way here to produce all of the stuff that we're going to need to produce here. So we're going to do that, and then this is going to dump down. We can actually have it come straight across here if we want it and do something like that. All right, and then we need to bring some lines over here. Now, if you've watched any of the videos I've done on this is not like me to usually go in and play stuff again or to build upon what we've already done. But I do want to kind of take some time and just try to get a little bit more skilled here. And you can see that these are producing a lot more coal. Like if you take a look at the output of this compared to the output of all of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. Their output is not far off of what 4 of those are. So that's good to know. That may be something we'll look at down here when we get to eventually adding more of this stuff on. Because I think we're going to want to up our production of all of this stuff here in the near future. But there we go. Look at our pulsar. Beautiful. And then I hit my left control button to get into that, and we can walk up there. It says we can left shift to fly over obstacles with your current unit. So, ooh, look at us, we're flying. And then I can just come back down. That's super cool. And to escape that, I'm just going to hit Control G again, or Y to respawn. Okay. So I'll hit my Y to respawn, or V to respawn, excuse me. I can go back there. And I believe we can group these together. So we can go in here as it's producing these. I'm just going to let it make it all 8 of those things. Do its job, be fine. You can see it's moving them up. So if I click on this one, I can go to, I believe, G. And group them. Oh, look at the electricity we can fire out of. That's pretty cool. And if we wanted to, we can just fly. It doesn't look like there's any kind of limitation on what we're doing there. And if I go back up here, does G allow me to group? Okay. Not sure about that, but we have our guys there that we can do stuff with. I could walk them all the way up, but I'm not super worried about that right now. What I do like is that they're within range of the core. They'll keep that area safe and going well for that. And I'm not concerned about the rest here. As far as our command blocks, I don't know where those are at. I believe in here there used to be a command block. I could be mistaken. I could have it in a different spot. But there used to be something, I believe, that we could use to control that. But it's not a big deal for what we're focused on now. Take a look at our production here. Our coal is just kicking. This production here is just insane. The 4 of these are producing far more than what the 6 or 7 of these have produced ever. So that's great. We're getting significantly more production of that. We're probably going to just go in here and enhance our production of these a little bit more. We're still producing negative power, so we can take a look up here and see what's going on. It looks like we're actually struggling for water a little bit, so let's go in and just add on, what is that? A rotary pump. Sure, what does that do? Okay, so that's going to produce a whole lot more, I think. And we should have power coming back here. We're not using up a lot of power, but we are definitely using power here. So we're going to do another steam generator. Again, I'm not sure if this is the best way to stack them all up or to spread them out, but for right now, in a world that we've conquered, or a sector that we've conquered, we'll leave that as so. And now we should be producing power. So we're doing good. We have our water flowing out of there pretty nicely. And I may go back eventually here and put on some of those laser cutter things because those things are super cool. Like, just look at what they output. It's just an incredible amount of power. What I might also do here is put on, what does this guy do? A differential generator. What does that do? Oh, that's right. That's the weird one with the pyrite and cryofloat that I don't have. But I may put on a large battery or 2 back here just to give a little bit more capacity to our overall system and to kind of just make sure that we have more there. We have 158 stored. I'd like to see that go up because we're less than half the amount we have stored, and we're good to go there. So nothing too big a deal with this world. I'm kind of happy with what we have right now as far as just making sure it's set up and safe and ready to go. I do want to take a look at our planet map here. This one is locked. That's our extraction outpost, excuse me. We have salt flats, which is new. We looked at this basically. That's an enemy base, it says, which we haven't seen before. The threat is high. We still have these guys, which are both vulnerable because they're surrounded by that one. This guy is our Stained Mountains. That's new to us. It has a medium threat. There's a couple of other locked ones here. We have Overgrowth, which is close to being unlocked. We have a line of stuff we've done. This is where we're at right now. And we're doing not terribly. I'm pretty excited. There still are clearly a ton of hexes or sectors that are available here. But overall, we're slowly knocking out these named places. So Tarfields is also a new one's popped up. We're getting there. Our next place that we need to go, I think, is probably the Salt Flats. If we zoom around the map, I'm sorry for being a little... No, not Salt Flats. What's the other one? Stained Mountains. I think that's going to be our next one, but that's going to be a mission for another day. I don't want to go too crazy in this episode. Just wanted to kind of take a second, relax, and just see what we have and make sure that we're good on all fronts here. So if we take a look at this one, we're doing what we need to do. This just makes me laugh. And then this guy's upgrading. Once we have enough resources in there, we should be good. But if we take a look through here, we're doing a decent job of getting all of our production rolling and doing what should be done for each of these things. And I think we're going to do one last addition here of just upgrading these, because these guys right now are 0.48 and 0.36. So if I get rid of both of those and I put on one of these, and then I get rid of that whole setup, and I put on that and that, I think that's going to be a whole lot more stuff for us longer term here. So we'll go in, we'll add on our power nodes and all of that, and we should be producing some power. The only problem with those lasers are they use a tremendous amount of power. They output a lot of stuff, but they use a tremendous amount of power. We are actually negative power now just from that one little change of putting on those 3 laser thingies on there. Good thing is that we have a lot more coal. You can see this, the density of coal coming up here is a lot more. So that's good. The only problem we have is that we're not producing enough power right now. And part of that might be just the lack of coal production overall. We're going to upgrade this one here as well. And we may actually split out some of this because we're maxing. Well, let's take the time. And we'll upgrade all of these as well while we're doing that. So we'll go in here. So we'll do something like that. Those are going to produce a whole lot more. And if we add water, what does that do to their drill speed here? So if we go in here and look at our drill speed with water, it boosts it by 2.5. Does that work with these guys too? Just taking a look here, I'm not sure. Water boosts those by over 2.5 as well. Okay, so there's a lot we can do with just a little addition of some water on these as well. Not that we're terribly gifted with water on this planet, but we can do stuff. So let's go in here, and we're going to feed this line coming over to there. And that should be a router. My apologies. And we'll just split those out. And we'll see if we can just boost these things. How about our separators? Do those get more with water? No, they don't get any water bonus. Okay. You can see that's just plumping out stuff, no problem. We're good there. That line's filling back up, and then these guys are able to flow out, and we'll be able to join in with these guys and our power's problems hopefully will be solved here, because just that little addition of a little extra coal looks like it's going to make sure that our steam generators are running at full capacity all of the time. Now, as far as this goes, I'm going to move our node here. I want that node to actually be over on this side. And then this one can go away. We didn't lose any power or anything like that. I'm actually going to replace that here like that. There we go. Okay. And that will bring that water pressure back up. Because what I want to do is I want to build another couple of those. And I want to try seeing what production looks like if I put some water into these. What the production actually winds up being. So I think we're doing okay. We can always do better, but I think we're doing okay. And we really could, if we wanted to, let's see here. Go to my schematics. Look at me. Know what I'm doing, sort of, sometimes, kind of, maybe. We'll rotate that one around. See, we don't have a lot of room for this one. That's my only concern here. But if I do something like that, I should be able to dump it right onto there. Have that come out. And then feed this one, feed that one. What I could also do is speed these belts up so they get the coal delivered down farther south faster, but I'm not super concerned with that. We are still losing a little bit of work when it comes to this, and we're going to upgrade this one over here as well as this. But you can see we're actually filling this up, so that's a good time to address the production of this. So we'll do 1 and 2. And maybe what we'll do is split a little bit off of this one and see if that is going to really help us out in what we wanted to do here. So I'm going to do something like that. And we'll bring a little water here, little water there, and we'll dump it onto this one. And, oops, I probably should have just put, this can just be a turn. So this has full water. It's not drilling at anything right now because it doesn't have a need to. I'm going to quickly just remove that and just see what happens with our production here. So I'm interested to see. This is not even, it's outputting at 2.42. This one's still not producing anything because it hasn't had a chance on the belt. And I think that's going to be a winner for us as far as that's just producing an obscene amount of stuff with having full water and all of that. We're producing full water here. Water's full there. So I think I'm going to put a couple more of these in along here. Our production for power still needs, it's a thirst we haven't quenched yet. So we're just going to add on another steam generator or 2. Put on another set of routers and a liquid router for here. This one, okay. Sure. And now we're producing lots of power again. But we can see this one's starting to have a little trouble keeping up. Our line over here has been saturated, so that's good. We're going to remove these and we'll put in some more laser drills. So if I do that, it's 0.31. If I do this one, it's 0.24. I think we're just going to keep that as is there. That's not a big enough hit to what we want to do. But I'm excited by this setup. And we don't have a lot of sand. That's one of the other problems with this one is we have very little sand, very little water. It's concentrated in those 2 spots. If we take a look, we probably need to address this situation here. So what I might choose to do is bring this one over, up, and then we'll put it down into something like that. Just to try to feed these other ones better than getting them all in this line taken up. So now we filled those all in. We're getting our production going. They're both at just under 2.5 the production normal, so that's good. And let's go in and so we have our liquid tanks, a liquid junction, a bridge conduit. There we go, our rotary pump. So we'll do something like that, I think. And I'm assuming these should attach onto this if I did this right. Maybe I didn't. So go back over here. We'll go to our liquid router. Oh, we need the high-speed liquid router, right? Or do we just need the regular? How do we join those on there? Okay, it puts more on there, but how do I get more in it? Oh, I'm an idiot. I put on... Okay. That's why it's not working. I put on pathways, not what it should be, which is that. Alright, so let's put on some liquid tanks here. Those should be filling up with water. Incredibly fast rate, which is cool. Just to kind of help supply some of this stuff. And then, wow, I'm really happy with the amount of coal we're doing. But is there really a need to go in and do more with this? Probably not. But if we take a look here, we have water. It's filling these up. This one's filling up. Then when it uses, it's good to go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. These guys are doing their jobs. This one here, we're going to have that switch direction so it can output both directions. And now we're filling up these. And I think we're just going to add on a couple more of these and call it a day. Nothing too big a deal. I just wanted to spend some time just trying to see if I wanted to go through and kind of optimize some of this stuff. And I know it's not optimized, but more just trying to get it to be better if I could. And if I could, how much better could I actually make all this stuff? So I just wanted to kind of get an example and see what we could do here with what we have. Alright, that's on fire. That's not good. Alright, let's try that again. We'll put you going down there like so. You are going to be that. And let's just see what happens here. Oh, that's right. We have them going into more melters. So it's not necessarily that these are doing their thing, but we can have these pop out. Have this one pop out as well. They need to go faster. So we'll do that. This one will come down, do that. And they should all be able to at least feed and come close to filling up a belt, and they're getting sorted out there, which is great. Wow. We're flying through all this stuff. Our holdback right now is really the slag. We don't have a lot of slag to assist us in making all of this stuff. So what I think I'm going to do is make another slag area up here, or over here, so we can get some more incinerators. Not incinerators, melters. That's what I wanted, right? Melters, yeah. Alright, so we'll put on a line of 3 melters there. And they're all going to be filled by, or fed by super fast belts of that stuff. Actually, let's make them slower belts. Make them slower belts of that stuff. They're going to all come out of a chain there, and that chain's going to be fed by a much faster belt. And then this guy's going to just kind of route them over to their spot. And then from there, should be able to bring a conduit down here, plug it in. Should hopefully have slag coming over here shortly. We do need to dramatically update this area, so that's what our next step's going to be here. So we're going to do something like that, I think. Do something like that, maybe? I think we're just going to shut down production on that one, make sure we get these two fully fed. It looks like we're doing a good job of keeping those fed. And now these guys have slag. It's not a ton of it, but it's getting to be more, which is good. We are definitely increasing our production there. We have our batteries there. We could, if we wanted to, really go to town with some of these. But I think what's going to happen now is we have a water source right here. We're going to bring that over and try to feed some of these other spots. So let's go over here. And, well, what I should do here real fast is just see what these can carry. So I can carry 10 liquid units. These guys here can carry 16. But what do our drills actually consume when they're being... So 4.8, yeah. So they actually consume a fair amount of water. The nice thing is that these guys are our rotary pumps there. Where are you at? Rotary pump, you produce 30 liquid things per second, and all of these are going into that. So this whole thing is... They're pumping here, going into this, and then this feeds directly back out. So we should be easily able to absorb any of those. So let's go in here, and we'll put on a router, and a router, and a router, and a router, and another router. Then we're just going to feed each one of these with the water that they hopefully need. And that's going to be another router. And we'll feed that, and we'll feed that. And, oh my, look at our drill speed. It's up at 3.48. This one's almost at 5. Look, we've completely backed up these other ones with just the production that these two alone. They've stopped all production of the others. That's bananas. If we look at our conduits, they're able to produce and support the amount of water that we need. This whole thing is chock full. It's just we can't produce. Okay, we're doing the job we need to. Our problem is sand here, but we could if we wanted to. Our laser drills are also capable of creating sand. So these guys are at 0.6. If I were to go in with our laser drill, okay, we're gonna do it. We're going to have to address our production on some of these other things here shortly, but I just want to see what this crazy town is going to do here for us. So right now, they're drilling at 1.7, 1.5, and 1.7. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a pipe from down here, bring that over, and if we put in a router here, here, and here, and bring this one down, if we get the water that we need, which it looks like we've gotten. This one's now at 4, this one's at 0, this one's at 0. So this is the only one producing stuff for us because the others can't actually produce enough for us to do what we need to do, which is fantastic. That's a good problem to have. Because now what we can do is we can split out this line here and either bring it over to this one, which it doesn't look like it needs help doing, but we can also add on additional lines of our production. So this can come up and do another 1 or 2 there. So let's talk about that. And also what I'm trying to do right now is just bank up resources. We're pretty close. We're pretty much full on all this stuff, with the exception of our silicon and our titanium. We need to up those, but we do have... we're doing the best we can over here with that stuff, and we're doing a really good job of filling that stuff up. Our production is flying, and we can actually increase it by just slapping a router in there. We will produce even more now, because these things are just crazy town of how fast they're feeding that stuff in. Like we're going to exhaust this maybe eventually. Doesn't look like we will. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of the laser drills behind it to supplement if one of them goes down or doesn't do what it needs to do. That's already filled up. We are doing everything we need to do there. If we take a look at these, they have all of the slag they need to produce everything they need. So happy with that. So we have our new toys over here. The pulsars are there. I haven't built any air power, but not super worried about that right now. That's going to be a mission for another day. The only thing I want to do before I end this is add on some more smelters, and then I think I'm going to call it a day. So we're going to put on 1. We're going to just move this guy up here, and then we can remove that one because that covers that whole area. Let me just do that again real fast. And we're going to add on 1 more silicon smelter. I think we should be able to fit it. Yeah, we'll fit it. It's going to be a little different of a one, but we'll be able to fit it in there. And the other crazy thing about this is that if I needed to, all of these right now are set up to be just the slower belts. I could increase the speed of all of these belts and drastically change the equation for this game. Or for this level here. So I'm going to put 1 there and 1 there. So that one's going to come all the way across. That one's going to come all the way across. And we'll do that. So those guys are going to fully feed in there. And then we need to put a router here and here. And they're just going to kind of be really long runways to get those supplied with what they need. And back here, what we can do is we can actually choose to supplement one of these a little bit more than what we have. So can we actually span that whole... Oh, we can. Okay, so we're not getting sand all the way in here like that, but we can span over top of this like so. And we're going to do the same thing here, like that. Put our router on that one. And then what I'm going to do here is we filled this production up. We can't really do much more here. So I'm going to bring this one over across. And we're going to bring that one down into here. So that one's going to be filled up with everything we need. And then... if I needed to, I can bring another router somewhere in here to bring another line down to this one. So let's just see what that looks like. If I bring another router, let's say there, and we'll go through and do our stuff there. We'll do something like that and like that. Oh no. Uh-oh, disaster. We have a problem. Okay. So that guy being this is the problem. This one here. Okay, so we don't want that. What we did was we jammed up our belts of what should be just... See how there's coal on those? So that's a problem. Why is coal coming out of those? Coal should not be coming out of those. Alright. We need to figure... Oh, no, that's fine. Alright, let's get rid of that. Oh, that's why. We have a router right there. Okay. That's an easy problem to solve. Okay, so let's hook all this back up the way it was supposed to be. Get rid of our individual spots there. You're going to come down that way. There we go. That one's feeding right. There we go. You're feeding fine. You're feeding fine. They just have a little bits of stuff left in them. So we just got to clean them out. Alright, that one looks better. Still have a little stuff in there. Alright, that's set up fine. And then we need to build our other smelter that we got rid of up here. And that's going to go in there like so. Now, we have some other setups here. I'm actually going to get rid of this guy because we don't need it. And what we should be able to do is bring this straight across to there. So that one's going to go there. Nope. See, you already did it. Oh, okay, I got it. We're outputting stuff right next to where the thing is doing its job. So, yeah, okay, I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We can fix it. All right, so that's a problem. Your problem, your problem, your giant problem. Good. Okay. So this one's now going to come across here. We don't really have a good option for that, so instead of doing that, I think what we're going to do is just bring this guy over and up. And that's just going to serve as a backup line, just in case we run into any problems. Alright, so not perfect. Not my most beautiful work, but it will do for now. And we have one of them that's jammed because it has one piece of coal there, so we'll fix that. Now all of those should be going. And you can see we actually are filling up the belts. Like it's having to stop and fill itself up. That should shake out a little bit as we have that, but sand production is surprisingly impressive. Like there's a lot of sand flowing into this just from these guys, and these guys are filling that up without a problem. So we could very easily put some more of these bigger guys here, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. I think we're in good shape. You can see that our lines are pretty much filled up. We're producing as much of this as we can right now. We could actually do more if we wanted to, which is bananas. But everything else is kind of maxed out. We've done a good job, I think, in getting done what we need to have done. Our titanium has gone up by 700. It's not the best, but it's gone up. And we're doing what we need to do. I'm pretty happy overall here. We haven't added defensively to anything, but as far as the efficiency with outputting stuff in this level, we've done a lot. The only other thing we might need to address at some point here is adding some additional power, which we can just add some solar panels and kind of hopefully correct most of those problems here. So maybe we'll really quickly just throw a little solar farm here and help balance out the little pieces of our power output that we need to do here, because we're down roughly, it's bouncing between 100 and 200. We have plenty of power to compensate for that through this, but maybe we just very quickly do something like that. That's producing power. It's nighttime right now, so it's not getting us a lot, but we're coming much closer to breaking even. The water here is good, and what we might just really quickly. I keep saying that, I'm sorry. But I just see things I want to do here real fast. We're just going to add a quick router to this guy. We'll add a quick liquid router up here. And then we're just going to flow that pipe straight into there. That's producing power for us. And now we're on the plus side of our power generation. So that's going to wrap us up for today. This was not a battle world. This was just kind of taking the remnants of what we had here and just seeing if what we did was, one, sensible, and two, if we could make it better, which I think we made it better. I still need to figure out how to control these units better. This cracks me up. What's your problem? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7, 8. Okay, there's too many of them. That's their problem. There's just too many. We can't do more. But when one of them dies, it's built and ready to go. So we have some defenses, new defenses with our guys here. They should be able to easily protect our core if we have ground units, and we should be in good shape. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in our next video.